Senator Cantwell.
You're wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following up on that same line as Senator Cassidy, because that's exactly, I represent one of the most science-based states in the country. That is percentage of scientists per capita. And at your confirmation hearing, we asked about this, whether you would follow science. You've made a statement here today in your testimony that you would follow science, and yet you're not following science, and that's what Senator Cassidy's question was. It's a simple yes or no answer. Do you think the president deserves to get a prize for warp speed in the mRNA technology that saved so many lives? And you won't answer that question.
I answered it.
No, you're saying that there are problems with what was interpreted. You could say yes. Do you say yes?
I said the president also deserves a Nobel Prize, but our mRNA vaccines that we're working on, the ones that we canceled, which are for upper respiratory infections alone,
you canceled $500 million of research because the mRNA technology is about continuing the research to be ready for the next flu, influenza, the next pandemic, and you have to do the research.
I'm happy to have a detailed discussion with you about it. You're so wrong on your facts.
You're interrupting me, and sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so she was holding nothing back with that opinion right there. Like, what the hell is she even talking about? Like, they're discussing giving Trump the Nobel Peace Prize for Operation Warp Speed. I think if they're going to give anybody the Nobel Peace Prize for that, it should be the scientists that came up with it. But they don't want to do that because the scientist that came up with it is working for RFK Jr. right now, and they say that he's an anti-vaxxer, for crying out loud. Oh, it's freaking hilarious. Of course, there's more than just one person that came up with that, right? There's several people that were on a team that worked together, blah, 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 blah. You get it, right? But you're a charlatan. Oh, is that so? Well, we're going to kind of push back on that. So y'all get ready for that. Y'all smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. And share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. That would be great. And if you could, look right below the video and click that join button. Sign up and become a member. That would be the best way to help this channel expand and grow. But without any further ado, here we go, y'all.
Sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are. You're the ones who conflate chronic disease with the need for vaccines. The history on vaccines is very clear. This is the 20th century. That's how many people had vaccines and had illnesses. This is the 21st century. This is the decrease, 99% down to 100%. This is what was delivered with vaccines, and you don't want to support that. You don't want to support that evidence. So yes, the governors of the West, Washington, Oregon, and California, will take up the efficacy of science. Yes, the University of Washington will deliver the science that America will depend on, because you don't want to depend on it. And his own Surgeon General of the Trump administration said over 2 million lives were saved because of the mRNA technology, and you don't want to continue that. You don't want to continue that technology. So what country is going to now take up that technology lead? What country is going to do that? Leaving us more vulnerable to some other country, keeping the advantage on having the best technology. So I'm telling you, I represent a state that's about technology. I have two other quick questions for you.
These questions or statements? Because I can answer that question if it's actually a question.
Do you believe in having the ACA and the support for the ACA that is about to expire? Do you believe in doing something about that?
In terms of the enhanced premium tax credits?
Yes.
The Democrats had two chances to make them permanent, and they didn't. And they didn't for a reason.
We're the ones who delivered it. So I'm just asking, yes or no, do you want to do something about this? Yes or no?
I want to fix the system, and that's what we're doing, fixing systematically to make premiums lower. That's what President Trump wants to do.
Do you think the women on the steps of the Capitol were a hoax yesterday?
I don't know about any women on the steps of the Capitol.
The women who were talking about Epstein, do you think they were a hoax yesterday?
Do I think they were?
Do you think they were perpetrating a hoax yesterday?
Perpetuating a hoax?
Yeah.
I have no idea what they were saying. This is the first time hearing about it.
You're first that you're hearing about the women on the Capitol steps saying that they believe that the Epstein information should be made public. That's the first you're hearing about it. What I'm saying is you are perpetrating hoaxes. You, as this Secretary of Health, so you're undermining the whole healthcare delivery system, and you keep trying to point to chronic disease, but you're not putting solutions on the table to cover more Americans, and you're taking away the science and technology that has made us the leader that has saved, according to the first Trump administration Surgeon General, millions of lives, and you don't want to keep that going. So no, I don't support your continued efforts as Secretary, and I definitely think that our colleagues need to rally around science. If you want the Northwest to just to continue to lead on all innovation and all healthy people, okay, we'll do that. But it's a sad statement for the rest of America and America's leadership on technology. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so once again, I am not a doctor. I am not making any sort of recommendations or anything like that. Do not take any recommendations from any of this. They are just discussing policy for the most part. Go speak to a doctor if you need to discuss anything medically that you may be feeling, you blah, blah, blah. You get it, right? Don't take my word for it. We're just discussing the logic of all of this, because that thing right there was one giant, I guess, a conglomeration of conflating everything, right? She pulls up this chart, okay? This chart, it's like, okay, let's compare and contrast people that took vaccines and didn't get the disease for which they were vaccinated for, from the 19th century and then the 20th, 21st century or whatever. Like, that's not what he's talking about here. He's talking about side effects from those vaccines. That's why they're taking them away, because we don't know. We are completely ignorant on a lot of this. We don't know the long-term studies on a lot of the mRNA stuff, right? Like, once again, folks, don't take my expert opinion. I'm just telling you what RFK is saying, basically, is there's side effects that we're starting to see, we're starting to get a lot of evidence for, and he's wanting to pull this back until we can figure out if these things are actually safe for long-term use. Right? Sure, you can get up there and say, oh, it saved 2 million lives or whatever, but how do we really know that? Once again, and what is the side effects from that? Like, at what cost? That's what my question would be. Sure, we saved 2 million lives, but at what cost? And that's another thing. I love how they say, oh, well, they took a vaccine, that saved their life. How do we know that? We don't know that, folks. There's no way that can't be quantified, for goodness sakes. That is just a giant misnomer. That whole thing was. It's fascinating. And then she wants to bring up what the people were talking about. Like, look, I'm sorry. Those women on the steps of the Capitol, she brings that up, the Epstein victims or whatever, right? Like, okay, I'm sorry, look, she's like in disbelief, like, oh, did you hear what he's saying? He doesn't know anything about, sure, he's not deeply steeped into your BS. Yeah, he's paying attention to his job. He's doing his freaking job. I love Democrats. Right? Because they're trying to shun RFK Jr. because he's asking questions. He's like, hang on just a second. Let's slow down, Democrats. Let's slow down. We're seeing some evidence that this might not be as safe as we once thought it was. And Democrats are like, but science! Like, think about what she said at the beginning of this video. I represent one of the most science-based states. Imagine watching somebody say that with a straight face and being completely serious about that. Oh, which means we have the most scientists per capita. We are the science here. Well, once again, folks, these people are pretending that science is static. Like, science is not static. I am sorry. Like, once again, we're learning constantly about the cosmos, for goodness sakes. We have to change our minds. Once we start seeing enough evidence, hang on, we need to do more research, and, things start pointing in a different direction. Like, she brings up all these old statements and all this nonsense. It's like, what are you talking about? Science is not static. It's ever evolving, for crying out loud. There is no consensus on any of this stuff. Trust the science. It's hard to trust the science when it's steadily evolving, folks. Don't do your own research, by the way. Look, I would suggest definitely do your own research. Speak to an expert for sure. Go speak to an expert, but do your own research, because you can figure out a lot of things for yourself that may be a question you don't even need to ask your doctor, if you know what I mean, right? Like, you can skip past that and go to something else, something a little bit more technical, something that you may not actually understand. Like, these people, they're trying to excoriate RFK Jr. here because, once again, he's asking questions, he's starting to correlate some things, and maybe they have nothing to do with each other. Maybe they don't. Maybe the whole myocarditis, maybe that's just a freaking coincidence. Maybe so. But it sure doesn't appear to be that. And they want to research into this, and they don't feel safe about telling people that something is safe when they don't know it's safe. That was the problem with COVID. They kept saying, oh, it's safe. Oh, it's going to stop transmission. Did it do that? Did 6-foot distancing work? No, come to find out, that was just completely made up. Oh yeah, that was completely made up. They pulled that right out of the ether, folks. That was supposed to be 10-foot social distancing, but guess what, folks? These politicians, these people, the scientists that say trust the science, thought that you were too stupid to know how far 10 feet is. Like, really? So you think they don't know what 10 feet is, but you think they're going to know what 6 feet is. Yeah, this is why they got all of those companies to go and place those little stickers on the ground that look like footprints or whatever, look like shoe prints. So you would know where to stand because you're too stupid to know how far 6 foot was. Like, it's one of the most insulting aspects of COVID that I think I've ever come across. It's one of the most insulting aspects of these very people that I think I've ever seen. It makes me sick to my stomach that these people, they think that you're so stupid you can't understand simple, basic concepts. Simple concepts, that we can't learn new things. Oh, don't do your own research because you're not an expert. Let the experts tell you. Yeah, when those experts are paid by Moderna, for crying out loud, or sponsored by Pfizer, yeah, I have some questions about the efficacy, right? Like, once again, the healthcare system these days, folks, it seems like it is in place to keep us dependent on that healthcare system. There are no solutions. Hardly any. Sure. Do they have a solution for the common cold? Yeah, they give you stuff that helps, sure, because they know that that's not a chronic disease. But these chronic diseases, something that will keep money flowing into their pockets on a consistent basis, oh, they have no problem not figuring out a solution to these things. Think about it for a second. All the money that they've dumped into cancer research, don't you think they would have found some sort of a cure by now, considering how basic it is? We completely understand how it works. Don't you think they would have found a cure for that? That's fascinating. That's really fascinating. They've dumped so much money into finding quote-unquote cures, and they have never found a cure for a lot of things, folks. A lot of things. And just so happens, a lot of those vaccines that you have to pay for, well, they want you to come back and get another one and come back and get another one after that. They want to keep you dependent on them. That's how they make their money, folks. And I don't trust people that try to force dependency upon me. Right? Now, screw that. I'm sorry. Look, I think we need more honest people in politics, more honest people at the federal government, especially in the healthcare system, folks, considering that we've found cures for diseases that it was found by this doctor off in some faraway land that didn't know anything, right? Like, I've seen some wild stuff, seen some wild cures for simple things that these very people at these institutions have poured trillions of dollars into researching. They couldn't find, nothing to see here, folks. Oh, it escapes us. The cure for this disease escapes us. But yet some backwoods doctor over there in Italy can figure out how to prevent certain cancers. That's fascinating, don't you think? It blows my freaking mind. And these people will try to shame you into oblivion because you don't trust the science. The same science that is ever evolving and constantly changing. You got to trust the science. Try to ostracize you from society. That's what they did during COVID, folks, and it was nuts. Completely nuts. But I think I've rambled on for long enough. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. It never ceases to amaze, folks, that these people's capacity to try to ostracize you for not thinking the way that they do. It's fascinating, y'all. It really is. But y'all smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here and you want to stay up to date with news and politics and how you're being manipulated by these people and the corporate press. That's what we do around here, folks. We analyze the news and figure out how they're lying to us. And y'all share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. That would be great. And click that join button. That's the best way to help this channel expand and grow. But y'all do all that for me. And y'all remember that God is always with us. And he loves each and every one of you out there. So y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.